What's going on, lads? Summer del Piso back once again. What are we doing today? We are going to analyze, this is the second part of the analysis of the Tripitaka, right? The Tripitaka, the first chapter of the Tripitaka, which is the feet. What is the Tripitaka? The Tripitaka is a beautiful book, it's a huge chronicle of the various aspects of reality, right? And even they have smaller books describing those various aspects of reality. The higher realms, the many, many circles of hell that Buddha talks about, the Asuras, who are the various beings and creatures and the devas that are in the Buddhism realm of thought, religion. This one that we're reading today, right? We are chronicling, we're reading the chronicles of Buddha's story as he walks through the world as an enlightened, ascended being and trying to teach the various individuals of the world to follow the path of the Tathagata, right? Or of the middle path. Not being affected by the sense pleasures of the world. So we're going to continue here. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's get right into it. I'm going to try my best to try to relate it to semen retention, because we know that these various ways of being, of ascension, is very, very achievable through semen retention, because semen retention is the ultimate penance. It is the ultimate reconciliation. It is the ultimate recompense, right, for everything that happens and is experienced in this world. By foregoing the sense pleasures, right, by foregoing the need, the yearning for things of the world, naturally you must be gifted, right? Not necessarily gifted as like you have some genetic gifts, but you will be given a gift, and that's the gift of ascension, that's the gift of life, right? True life. Let's keep going. The Brahmin now. So the situation here is that we have a Brahmin, a sort of old person that's an ascetic, that's finally found Buddha, right, in the midst of probably one of his lectures with various monks, 500 monks. He's having a conversation with him, basically accusing him of all these things, right, sounding like a Pharisee, right, the Pharisee of Buddhism. So let's keep going. The revered Gautama professes the doctrine of annihilation, he said. This is a powerful word. I don't think you guys truly understand what that means. There are various words in this world that sort of represent the complete destruction of something. There is, you are destroyed, you are eviscerated, cast asunder, you are annihilated, right? Annihilated is almost like every aspect of you is gone. Of course, not necessarily you, but of course what he's talking about is the annihilation of any single bit of things that are attached to this world. The things that want to experience the world, the things that want to feel pleasures of the world, those are annihilated, right? Let's see what he's talking about, man. So this is the Buddha now, Gautama. There is indeed, Brahmin, a way in which one speaking truly of me could say, the recluse Gautama professes the doctrine of annihilation. For I, Brahmin, speak of the annihilation of passion and hatred, right? And of confusion, right? And I speak of the annihilation of manifold evil and wrong states. What is he talking about, right? We know this, guys. Listen, people that watch the channel, you already know, you can already deduce what he's talking about if you don't directly know. When he's talking about and I sort of alluded to it in the beginning of the video, the beginning description. When you are annihilating, right, the passion, which is the need to try to want to reproduce in this world, the need for recreational sexual pleasure, just for the sake of, because the people of this world tell you that that's the way to be a person, right? That's the way to be accepted by the world. When in reality, it is a ball and chain. It is an anchor to your ship that brings you completely down and holds you in place, right? He also says the annihilation of the wrong states. What is the wrong state? Is the individual that is sort of encompassed by the things of this world, that want to be passionate, that want to drink, that want to take drugs, that want to feel the things of this world because everyone else is doing it and it feels right to the body, which is of a low vibration. That is the wrong state. The correct state is the complete opposite of it. I preach it on my channel. Complete restraint, semen retention, and not desiring or coveting the things of this world, the aspects of this world. We don't find pleasure in reproduction. We do not find pleasure in having families, because these are all anchors to this world. You will never ascend if you partake in these kind of things. This is what this guy, Buddha, Krishna says it, Buddha says it, Jesus says it, they all say it. Why aren't we doing this? Let's keep going. This indeed, Brahman, is a way in which one speaking truly of me could say, the recluse Gautama professes the doctrine of annihilation, right? But you surely did not mean that, right? So this is the Brahmin again. The revered Gautama is one who detests What I like about classic literature is that they use these words, right, that mean so much. It has all these different chains of meaning: annihilation, restraint, detest, right? When you detest things, right, that means you absolutely abhor those things. You hate those things. You don't like those things, essentially, but on a very, very deep, visceral, with a very, very visceral hatred. This is what Gautama says. This is what the Buddha says. There is indeed, Brahman, a way in which one speaking truly of me could say, of course, speaking in riddles, right? Classic literature. The recluse Gautama is one who detests. For I, Brahman, detest the offenses of the body, speech and thought, the coming into manifold evil and wrong states. So he understands when he's talking about detesting these things, it's almost like what I was describing earlier. It is a complete repulsion and detest and an abhorring of the things of the body, which is naturally meant to poison the soul in order to bring it down, to identify with the things of the world, the activities of the world that keep people in a low state. You have to, that's the only type of passionate feeling that one should feel. A complete detest and abhorring, right? A hatred towards the things of the world that try to keep you down, right? The need to, every day you wake up, well, of course, you eat sustenance. By eating sustenance, you are propelling the various systems in your body in motion. The reproductive system, the circulatory system, the nervous system, whichever. You are propelling these things in motion. And because those things are perpetually in motion, the reproductive system, which is prioritized, will feel its need and desire to conduct its function. That is the aspect of the body that the Buddha absolutely detests. And the nervous system, which is that want, that need to completely identify with the things of the past and the things it sees. The nervous system intakes, because remember, the eyes are included, the brain is included in the nervous system. It intakes everything that people see, even if you don't completely acknowledge it or consciously acknowledge it. You subconsciously acknowledge. You see the families everywhere. You see people partaking in sex. You see people partaking in drugs, subconsciously and consciously. And that brain is continuously sending conditioning in order to keep you in that state. These are the aspects of the body the Buddha detests, and what we must detest too if we're seeking to triumph in this practice of semen retention. You see, semen retention, why it's incredibly powerful, why it's an incredibly ascending practice, is because, like I've said in my previous videos when I first started YouTube, I talked about how the different systems of the body are affected and energized with the practice of semen retention. But of course, with that being said, you are able, of course, in regards to the nervous system, in regards to the reproductive system, you are able to challenge the automatic function of the systems of the body. You are able to challenge it consciously and reject it. That is why semen retention is powerful. You are not just living your life like everyone else that has forgotten that function, that has chosen to discard that function. You are able to completely consciously acknowledge the things that are happening in your body and make a choice about fulfilling its biological imperative or not. Be on the practice, guys, and trust me, you're gonna be fine. Trust me. Let's keep going. So this is the Brahmin, right? The revered Gautama is one who practices austerities, he said. Austerities. I talked about this in an earlier video. What austerity measures are, right, which is talked about usually in reference to the economy, are like a tax for a certain good. Perhaps there's too many people that have diabetes, that have high blood sugar, so you put a tax on drinks. That is an austerity measure. So, of course, it is the same could be referred to in the body. If there is a want to consistently try to follow your biological imperative, which is being fooled by the nervous system in the body in order to follow the ways of the people in the world heading to destruction, right? You are setting an austerity measure on the source of that thing in order to stop it from consistently trying to express itself through your vessel, right? So let's find out what Buddha has to say about this. There is indeed, Brahman, a way in which one speaking truly of me could say, the recluse Gautama is one who practices austerities. For I, Brahman, speak of evil, wrong states, which are searing. Come on, man. Which are searing. Do you guys understand what searing means? It's the branding of a horse. It is the usage of fire to permanently scar. When you do not practice austerity measures, right, you are completely searing the body with whatever it conducts, right? The following the biological imperative, which is staying in this vibrational state. of lowness. That is exactly what not practicing austerity is. The wrong states of the body, right? Which of course is searing in terms of memory, in terms of imprinting those behaviors and conditions on the subconscious, so you consistently perform those acts and you justify all of your actions and your pursuit of those things as something good. You justify it, which are searing of offenses of the body, speech, and thought. Well, remember, it is not enough that in the mind you must control yourself, right? You have to apply austerity measures on the self. You have to detest the wrong states of the world, which imprints itself on your mind. You have to control your speech, because speech makes things a reality. It's almost as if it's like a Harry Potter or something, right? You're casting spells. Having cut them off at the root like a palm tree, who has done away with them so utterly that they can come to no future existence. That is removing these aspects, removing these behaviors at the root. The individuals of this world, I could talk about this forever. They love to have fun. They love to enjoy themselves at the expense of other people, right? They find having families, they find having children as some sort of enlightenment, it's some sort of fulfillment, when in reality it means nothing. You have followed the biological imperative of the body, and you are basically fulfilling the operation and behaviors of beasts. It's so easy to reproduce. When you're putting austerity measures on the self, you are controlling yourself, you are binding yourself to the ways of the higher, even though you don't have necessarily a plan. You have to reject the sense objects of the world. Pleasure shall not enter you. And we know this by practicing semen retention, guys. The moment you are celibate, I always tell you, for 2 months at least, there is a complete change in the body. Your systems are automatically performing at an optimal, increased, accelerated pace. Naturally, on the flip side, on the shadowy end, because there is always light and shadow, they exist in tandem, in a juxtaposition. There will be the dark side of you that will tempt you, that will try to bring you back. I'm 9 months in this practice of semen retention, and I'm not going to lie when I say that dark side of me, that it consistently has a tether on the aspects of myself. It's consistently trying to pull me back into the things of the sensual pleasures of the world. But you get smart, you sort of get wise up to the tricks of the body, and then you understand these different angles of attack, and then you rise, you continue, because this is the only way forward, truly to ascend. It doesn't matter what religion you follow, it is always about austerity measures and detesting the things of the physical reality. Let's keep going. But surely you did not mean that. So of course the Brahmin does not give up. This guy is consistently trying to he's trying to have Buddha trip up on himself. The East Asian Pharisee, right? This is what he is. So Brahmin says the revered Gautama is restrained. Of course, I said this before. What does that mean? You are putting austerity measures on the self. You are controlling yourself. It's the way to sort of to practice restraint, to practice sort of resentment of the things of the lower planes. This is what the Buddha says. There is indeed, Brahmin, a way in which one speaking truly of me could say, the recluse Gautama is restrained. For I, Brahmin, teach Dharma. Right? Remember, Dharma is the same as karma, but the thing is, Dharma is completely prejudiced in the ways that it is only good acts. It is only objectively moral acts. It falls within my theory, the theory of karma. The more karma that someone has, the more negative karma someone has, the more that their chances of being reincarnated into the world it happens, right? So when you are spreading Dharma, objectively good acts, acts of sacrifice, it's not necessarily a sacrifice like it was in the Middle Ages, where it was a huge war, and then in order to protect the kingdom from being invaded, you put yourself at the mercy of the enemy army. No. Even though that would add to your Dharma. But in this world where the psychological warfare reigns supreme, spiritual subversion and clandestine attack, right, is supreme. You are not partaking in that battle. You are not partaking in those methods of attack. Rather, you are allowing them to attack you, and you do nothing, even when you have the strength to react. That is building Dharma. and even helping your fellow man, even helping your enemy, because he's not a fellow if he's your enemy. You are helping your enemy, and that is adding dharma. For I, Brahman, teach dharma for the restraint of passion, hatred, and confusion. Of course, confusion about the things of this world. Is reproduction correct? Should I even have a family? Should I keep sleeping with that woman? Should I keep drinking? These are all confusion. These are states of confusion. The objectively good choice is no, no, and no, right? You have to reject the things of the world in order to keep going, in order to seek, to obtain what you've been seeking, to transcend this place, to no longer go out. I teach dharma for the restraint of manifold evil and wrong states. This indeed, Brahman, is a way in which one speaking truly of me could say the recluse Gautama is restrained. But surely you did not mean that. Of course, right? Because he knows that he's trying to mock him. What are these? I don't understand. This is something that you guys are going to definitely fall into. It happened to me. It happens to me. Online, we have individuals that try to mock the practice of semen retention, saying that you must follow the biological imperative of the body. You must have a family. You have to keep reproducing. You have to keep drinking and do drugs in order to enjoy this world, because this world is full of pain. When in reality, those bind you to the pain, right? There is no need for more families because we're in a plague of overpopulation. Why do we need to continue having sex? And plus, we're not even reproducing for that anymore. It is now solely recreational in this new age, right? We know this. Do not follow these ways. Do not try to identify with these things of the world. Of course. I'm going to say this until the day I'm gone, man. He's going to keep going back and forth, but let's keep going over. This is something new. Let's check this out. The revered Gautama is not destined to another kind of becoming. The Brahmin says, what the heck is he talking about? Transforming, going to another state? So let's see what Buddha says. There is indeed, Brahmin, a way in which one speaking truly of me could say, the recluse Gautama is one who is not destined to another kind of becoming. Indeed, Brahmin, he whose future conception in a womb. Let's read this. This is interesting. Everything I say, guys, it's not because I'm just speaking randomly. These are all facts. These are all facts of ascension. Let's repeat what this guy, Buddha, has said. He said, indeed, Brahmin, he whose future conception in a womb, right, whose rebirth in a future becoming are destroyed and cut off like a palm tree at the root, are so utterly done away with that they can come into no future existence. Him I call one not destined to another becoming. What the hell is he saying? Like I said, like what they were saying in Revelation when the ascended Jesus Christ was talking directly to John the Baptist. When you are donned with the white raiment, which means you have triumphed over the self, the devil, and the world, your name will be written in the book of life, and you will no longer go out. What is Buddha saying right here? He's talking about the state of non-becoming, which means when you have followed the path of Tathagata, right? Or in our case, when you are on semen retention, you are not trying to identify with the things of the world. You do not find pleasures in the things of the world. Or if you do find pleasures in the things of the world, you are trying to triumph over it and trying to become a different type of being. You do not identify the successes of the individuals of this reality with true success. When you reject the things of this world, having sex and fornication for strictly recreation and even for reproduction, you are now going to be in an ascended state, and you will have sliced your link to samsara. That means you will no longer go out, or you will no longer be born once again. Right? This is what he's saying. Ciao. Yes. Let's see, what else? The Tathagata's future conception in a womb, his rebirth in a new becoming, are destroyed and cut off at the root like a palm tree, are so utterly done away with that he can no longer come into a future existence. This indeed, Brahman, is a way which one, speaking of me, truly could say the recluse Gautama is one not destined to another becoming. But surely you didn't mean that. I like this guy already. I'm telling you, Buddha is not, what I love the most next to ascension is the individual who carries the powers of enlightenment, the vision, right, of ascension, and is humorous, right? Because surely the Brahmin is not talking about how Buddha has severed the ties of physical life and death, that with his death, in this reality, after he's finished teaching, he will no longer be born in this world. So you see, a lot of these catastrophic, apocalyptic, evil future foreboding texts sort of come into an understanding. The idea is this: when you are ascending, right? When you are seeking, trying to ascend in this world, right? You want me to smile at least? When you are seeking that ascension, the triumph over the physical self, right? That means that there is an escape that you are making. It's not necessarily you will no longer be born again, but you are evading something that's meant to happen to this world, whether we like it or not, or whether no matter if we come together due to all the policies of the EU and the world government or not. There is something coming. This is something that I'm understanding. Why is it that Buddha puts at the top of his list, the top of priorities, escaping samsara? Samsara is a binding to the lower planes, the lower reality, right? To continuously be born and born again until you learn, right? What does that even mean? I think that there is a state that needs to be achieved. In this current state, our vibrational level, right, is keeping us heavy. It's keeping us bound here, which means that at the inevitable time when the end of the world comes, this is insane. This is the first time I'm ever speaking about this because I'm putting two and two together now. That means that there is a predestined end of the world, right? There is a certain period of time where specific souls, the ones that are here stuck on this planet bound in these physical vessels, have to ascend, or else we are going to be bound to the second death, right? I think that's it. I really think that's it. When we escape samsara, that means we're ascending to another plane, which means that the one from the past must be done away with. There is no such thing as a non-existence of a time limit for the people to ascend in this world. That means we're on a timetable. This is what this means. Not only they talked about the flood in the past, right? That destruction of everything because of the sort of evil, distorted nature that the world has reached. But now, of course, in the New Testament and in these books, they talk about escaping the second death, escaping samsara, because something is meant to happen here that is going to be completely devastation and catastrophic. And we must try to ascend so we get to another plane, so we get away from this. If this is not a reason enough to stay on semen retention, guys, then I don't know what's going to persuade you. This is not some sort of crazy schizophrenic or sort of tinfoil hat type of talk. There is if you can easily deduce from what's being read from the religious text that there is something happening. There are people, what is it? The Buddhists say it, right? The people from the Hindus say it. The Bible, the people of the Bible say this thing. There is something coming. To escape it, you must escape the cycle of life and death. If you do not escape the cycle, the binding of the complete rebirth in this low reality, then it's over for you. There will be a catastrophic event that will wipe us out, and that will be the second death, which is full of moaning, gnashing of teeth, and yearning for release, and you shall not have it. Don't ever let this world get you down. Remember, we are still being kind. We are still being amicable. We're still being benevolent, right? We are not trying to be angry or sort of indirectly fire insults at the people who we share this existence with. But we have a job to do, not only to ascend, but to escape what's coming, what's meant to happen, right? If you keep trying to seek the idea of family, if you keep trying to seek the idea of reproduction, sex for recreation, drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, smoking marijuana, doing drugs, you are going to keep staying in samsara. And when that time comes, when the desolation, there was something in Revelation that I remember. It is the being that causes desolation, right? When that thing happens, this world will cease. This is nuts. This is nuts. This is really nuts. I don't think I've ever put it together like this. I've never put it together like this, guys. No, this is completely, what I usually do is do to my own analysis, but this is insane now. This is another religious text talking about trying to escape the cycle of rebirth. Why is it that they're stressing the escape from rebirth? Why is it, right? Because this world, if the world wasn't so bad, then why are these guys preaching that? Something is coming. Something is coming, guys. Guys, something is coming. Let's get on semen retention, guys. We have to eschew the things of this world now, right? As soon as possible. Because I do not want to be in this reality when the desolation happens, right? Stay radiant, my friends. I shall see you guys in the next analysis of the Tripitaka. Woo!